Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to talk about a few traits that I commonly see with OCD sufferers everywhere. As we have not reached a consensus regarding the origin of OCD and why it happens to certain people and not to others, I'm here to tell you that I think there is a certain personality type that is predisposed to getting OCD. And this personality has a few key traits that I'm going to list today. And I'm going to start with a sensitive nature, because I see that OCD sufferers have an extremely sensitive soul, so to speak, a good nature. If we're talking about a sensitivity spectrum or an emotional availability spectrum, they tend to be in the extreme side. They are very good-natured people in general. The second trait I see is neuroticism, in the sense that they worry a lot. Neurotic people tend to ruminate a lot and worry about even the smallest details in their lives. Sometimes they replay interactions, what happened during the day, in general, how people reacted to them. Neurotic people are predisposed to getting the condition of OCD, in my opinion, more than a person who's not neurotic by nature. Being introverted as opposed to extroverted may be a factor in this, because an introverted person tends to have a rich interior world and keep it to themselves, as opposed to somebody who is an extrovert and is willing to share their thoughts and experiences. An introvert might choose to keep to themselves their experiences and maybe cycle through their thoughts. And being alone with your thoughts sometimes can be a bad thing. Sometimes thoughts give birth to other thoughts, and it can create a cycle that may become toxic. And when it becomes toxic, it becomes OCD. I'm not implying that you will get OCD. I am just comparing the chances of getting OCD of an introvert versus an extrovert. So I think that being an introverted person makes you more likely to get OCD than the other. And the last trait that I identified as being part of this kind of personality that I'm trying to describe is perfectionism. And we know that media and people that aren't really up to date with what OCD means, people tend to believe that those who suffer from OCD are cleaning their room, cleaning their hands, and doing things a certain way because they are perfectionists. But we know that's not true, and that they do it out of fear. But perfectionism is actually a trait that I associate with OCD, because I see that the sufferers have a very high standard and very high expectations of themselves. They are people who have very high standards for their own person and their personal life. So I associate perfectionism and idealism with this kind of personality that is more prone to getting OCD than other types of people. So this personality is sensitive in nature, neurotic, introverted, and a perfectionist. And I want to tell you something else that I see with OCD sometimes. OCD sufferers may have experienced a traumatic event, and that's before OCD started. A traumatic event that left them feeling extremely powerless in that situation, and they craved the control over that situation or over their lives. This traumatic event brought on a lot of pain for the person, And OCD came kind of to fill the void and strike a deal with this person in need by telling them, hey, you do these compulsions, take my hand, you do these compulsions, you're gonna be safe, and everything's gonna be fine, you're not gonna feel the pain again. And the person, being in a vulnerable, traumatic state, took the offer. So that's another way that OCD can start. After a traumatic event, wanting to avoid the pain of it, the person will strike a deal with OCD that promises to keep them safe and keep them away from the pain that they previously experienced. So that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for listening to my video, and I'd really appreciate if you click subscribe. This channel is here to help you recover from OCD and give you information about it. I am here to share valuable information, and if you're interested in OCD and especially in recovering from OCD, I suggest you stick around, and I wish you all the best.